Good day, sir.
Hello. Hello. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Just need a little bit of water here to get my voice ready.
Yeah.
Oh, that's much better. Thank you.
Excellent.
Yes. Sorry.
That's all right. I guess we'll just start. So we are here to talk about Avengers Infinity War. Yeah?
Wait a minute. We're talking about Avengers Infinity War?
Yeah. Why, did you go see the British Avengers?
Yeah, actually, Sean Connery is awesome. No. I thought we were here to talk about our country getting out of the Iran thing. Anyway,
the Iran nuclear deal, the JCPOA.
Yeah, Jacob. Sounds like a really bad made-for-DVD movie.
Yes, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah. Van Damme and Van Damme and Van Damme you all to hell. Sorry. But yes, we are here to talk about Avengers Infinity. My voice trails off every time I talk about it just because of what happened. And I'm sure we'll get into that too. Spoilers abound, kids.
Yeah. So I'm going to start by saying that I'm a lifelong comic book fan, and my movie-going money goes towards comic book movies like 90-10. That's how right? So all of the money that I have spent in the last 30 years to go see movies, 90% of it has been to see Batman, all of them.
Yeah.
Darkman.
Oh God. Okay.
In theater.
Yes.
All the X-Men movies, Blade, all those movies. All the way up until Civil War.
Okay.
In between, I think I threw some money at Star Trek and Star Wars.
Well, you're still staying within the genre to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Because there have been comic books made of those.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Having said that,
yeah.
And having seen every single Marvel film, I was unprepared for just how epic of a film it was.
Was it okay? Was it just a matter of the epicness, or was it a matter of the feels?
No, I was prepared for that. Years back, they started preparing you for people are going to die.
Yeah, true.
People you love are going to die, and they're doing.
I think.
Go ahead.
I think life in general prepares us for that.
Well, I mean, the studio, everybody.
Yeah.
Was pretty sure they wanted you to know that people were going to die, and they were going to die early.
Yeah, don't get used to these people sticking around. They'll be gone in a couple of years. Well, you got to give them credit for that because one, it increases the stories you can tell storytelling wise, but also for the fact that when it comes to contract renegotiations, they're going to just be like, look, you got one movie left on your contract. You can either re-up and we'll put you in some more, or you're just going to die in the next flick. One of the two. We'll get somebody else to replace you.
Well, that's the great thing about contracts is they can kill you anyway.
Yeah.
Rogue One is a great example. They signed all those people for 3 movie deals.
Yeah. They killed them all in the first one.
Yeah.
Many Bathans died.
That wasn't them. That was from a different mission. But
I know. But I just love that. I just love that. That whole thing just. I love that part. Many Bothans died to bring us this knowledge.
That's right.
You know, I use that in real life now.
But no, I don't know. The feels is not what I would use to describe.
Okay, so you were expecting a lot of death, and now did anybody that passed on surprise you?
Yes. Even though it was spoiled for me, It was still it was a ballsy choice.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll get to it farther on down the line because let's start at the beginning.
In the beginning,
the Earth was created.
What was that thing we used to do when General Cinema started?
General Cinema, where they show nothing specific.
Right, the God Complex. No, in the beginning, I wanted to go see this film, and going back to Batman '89, I was there on the Thursday night at midnight that it was showing, because back in the day, kids, they didn't show the movie on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday before a movie. They literally waited till midnight on Friday morning to show the movie on Friday.
Yes, sir.
You okay?
Oh, yeah. It's a little bit of a cold. Sorry, kids.
But
you saw it on the first day at midnight showing.
Right. But these days, I can't fight the crowds.
Well, we're go ahead. Sorry.
And schedule-wise and financial-wise, it didn't work out so that I could take my family to go see the film on opening weekend, even if I wanted to go into the throngs of people who obviously spent a lot of money to go see this movie.
Right.
I thought it'd be a safe bet to wait till the second weekend, and then I could go see the movie at my leisure without the throngs in line outside.
True.
That was a miscalculation. I should have waited 2, 3, 4 weeks because I could not get tickets for hours upon hours unless I wanted to sit up against the wall, half obstructed by a pillar.
Right.
And having said that, I still ended up sitting in the second row with my neck craned all the way back to see this movie. So that may have also increased the epicness of the film.
It's so big.
Well, everybody's bottoms were very large.
Well, for some, that's not a bad thing. Anyway, sorry.
Right?
Right. I kind of agree with you. Go ahead. Sorry.
So instead of going show or a 3:30 show or a 4:30 show or a 5:30 show or a 6:30 show, I ended up at a 7:30, 8:30 show.
Okay.
In a movie that I know is long, accompanied by a woman who is known to fall asleep.
Okay.
I was sure that by the time we got out of this film, I was going to be nudging her after the after credit scene. Okay. But she was wide-eyed and a gasp the entire film, so I didn't have to worry about that at all.
Well, that's cool. See, the thing is, I agree with you. About movies nowadays. Is I want to go see all the comic book films. It's a desire because when we were growing up, these things weren't as widely accepted as it is now.
No, it was a decade between films.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but the thing is to want to go see a comic book film and whatever. There wasn't that many films, and then it was a mark of geekdom to a certain extent to go see a comic book film. But the thing is, when you got the main characters like Batman and Superman and even Spider-Man when it came out, it got a little bit better. But I don't do crowds well in my older age. I'm looking at people and I'm like, get the hell off my lawn. And it's like, wait, that's and especially parents that bring their children to the theater. Now, I understand about bonding as a family and going to see family movies together. I've got no problems with that. But I don't like kids. Well, not that I want to see bad things happen to them. I just don't like being around kids that parents are not controlling. Or if something is wrong with the child, they're not seeing what's wrong and trying to make it better. They're just letting the kid cry. I don't go for that. So I have to go to other showings like Tuesday at 10 a.m.,
I went to see it on a Sunday night. and my theater was packed, and it was the second choice theater because the first theater was packed all night. And this theater had many more seats and more showings of the film, different versions, 2D, 3D with somebody spitting in your face when it's supposed to be raining. I don't know. And it was packed to the point where there were only seats available in the first two rows. So we've found a seat sort of in the middle of the second row, and if people came in, and that was the only place there were seats unless you were by yourself up a little higher. And so people came in that in groups of 3 or 4. They ended up in and around me to the point where the family was in this family of 4 children, and a mom was in the front row looking up at the screen, and she was like, I can't fucking do this.
Right.
So she decides to move, and she moves the kids to individual seats around the theater, including right next to me. Is an 11-year-old kid sits next to me, and she sits at the end of the row where she can see nothing he is doing or needing or wanting or anything. She is completely disconnected. I'm not even sure she stayed in the theater because I couldn't see her. She's that far away. But he would have been a kid that you'd love to see the movie with because he didn't say one word, and he sat there just as aghast as my wife.
That's awesome. Well, the thing is, though, he's 11 years old too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a certain sense of, he knows what it's like to be in public now. I'm talking about people that bring 2 and 3 year olds.
Well,
or younger, and it's like, oh, okay. But there is an upswing in movie theaters now. Huh?
What year did Batman Returns come out?
91, 92, maybe?
Yeah. So AJ was 2. And he went to the midnight showing, fast asleep. Thank goodness, because I would never be able to explain Danny DeVito to him again.
And I'm just saying that there is an upswing in theaters now where they cater to adults only. Wait, that didn't sound right. I mean, it shows regular movies.
Yeah.
But they have separate viewing times, and kids are allowed to come to the theater up until like 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then that's like their shut off thing, and then it's adults only.
Yep.
And they even have specific things. You can get served drinks and stuff like that too. So it's actually kind of a cool thing. I think they have it in Rosemont. I'm not sure.
They do it. They do a thing around here. It's like a Mother's Day show, a Mother's daytime showing. So like after all the kids are off at school at like 9 and 10 a.m. in the morning. Specifically.
Oh, that's cool.
But
what about all the single dads?
Well, I guess they're invited. I don't know. How can you? What are you going to card somebody? Show me your kids' pictures.
You're not a woman. Sorry.
I don't have any. You are not a parent. Get out.
I'm very apparent. Look at me. Sorry.
Stop apologizing.
I'm sorry.
I was pointing to the laptop as if you were in the laptop.
I am. I'm a magic man. Sooner or later we're going to actually talk about the film.
Eventually. I mean, that's the point, right? The journey.
Eventually, Avengers, yes.
We both saw the same movie.
I don't like Journey, though.
So I saw the movie in a packed theater, is what I'm trying to say. With an audience. And I will just speak for the entire audience to say, right off the top, spoilers, we fucking loved it.
Okay.
Okay. You saw it with a total of
3 people total in the theater. And may I say, we fucking loved it.
Excellent.
Yes.
All right. So this opinion of 303 people.
Well, see, here's the thing, though. It's kind of a mix for seeing films like this, because there are some films that you have to see with an audience, that you experience it together.
I can't imagine what it was like for you, unless you were with somebody who so that you could like experience it with him.
I went with a friend.
But even something to be said about 300 people gasping at the same time. And,
yes.
And this room full of 300 people going dead silent for like 2 minutes. And it happened in this movie, and it was chilling.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. There are some films like that you should experience with a group. You know, and at the same time, when there's only 3 people in the theater, it was kind of cool because you don't have those people that talk during the movie unless you're it. You know.
Yeah, but
you don't have parents with the kids and stuff like that.
If you are one of those people who likes to talk to your friend during the film, it's pretty great to be in an empty theater where you did you fucking see that?
Yes, Larry. And the thing is,
it's on a giant screen. Oh, by the way, I'm out, and he's Larry.
Oh yeah, we did forget to introduce ourselves. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. Fucking screw it. They'll know who we are sooner or later. Anyway, the thing is I wanted it to be like that, and I want to be like that when I'm in theater. But there was that third person there that wasn't part of the group.
Yes.
It's like, I'm not going to spoil it for this jerk. You know?
Yeah. You want to be respectful.
Yeah. You know, so it's just like, but I'm telling you, man, some of the scenes really got to me. You know, and oof. And I was. Some people are surprised about some things, and I can kind of see where they're surprised, but at the other time, it stays within character. You know, and like at the opening scene where Thanos is on the ship, they've killed most of the Asgardians. He's got Thor by the head, and he threatens Loki. I will give you his head on a platter. If you do not give me that stone, I will kill him here right now. And Loki's like, go right ahead. You know, which you expect from Loki. But when he actually starts to go through with it, Loki reaches a point to where he's like, fine, here, take it. You know, he gives it up to save his brother. And a lot of people are like, that's not Loki. And it's like, you still have familial love. Loki, you know, and with
always going out of his way to save Thor. It happens every movie.
Yeah. Well, the thing is the past couple movies, if you watch Loki's behavior, there is that familial bond and the love there, and he does care, and he does do that. But at the same time, he is a bit of a pisser, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's his description. Well, not Loki the pisser, but Loki the god of mischief, you know.
I think it falls under the same umbrella.
Well, give me at a nightclub and let me have a couple of drinks, and I'll Larry the pisser. Yeah, right. Especially diabetes. All right.
So the opening scene, I think I'm going to say that being as Thanos, that he only killed half the Asgardians.
Okay.
Because
it looked like he wiped them all out except for Loki and Thor.
Yeah, well, they didn't show pictures of the ones who were laying around on the ground.
Well, true. I was about to say, because I'd really hate to think there was only like 10 Asgardians left, because that's not how many were left in the first film.
No, it wasn't that many.
Yeah.
But it was more than the few that were scattered about the floor at the opening of the
right.
And so presumably he let half of them go.
Yeah.
Because the story is supposed to be that he went to these planets, split them up in half, killed half of them.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have the gauntlet yet, where he could make half of the universe disappear.
Automatically.
He was doing it manual style, right?
You have to give him credit for having the guts to do that. You know, I mean, to work that hard, because he's doing it manually, planet by planet by planet.
Right. And he could have gone, oh well, Hela just destroyed like 3/4 of your, no, almost all of you.
Yeah. Well, screw it. You're still too many.
Well, you're too many because you don't have a planet anymore.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, if if he's going across planet to planet, killing off half the population, because he doesn't have all the stones yet. So apparently, when he does get the stones, he's still going to kill another half of each planet he's already been to.
Yeah, he's got a rounding error. So he forgot that he's already killed half of however many planets he's been to.
Okay, so we'll get to that a little bit later with the people that ended up dying, because, well, no, it's because it's a matter of control. The people that ended up dying, was it something that he mentally conjured up that, okay, these people will live, these people will die, or was it just, off the fly? He didn't determine who lived or died. It was just automatic.
Yeah, I think my theory is that he had no control over it. Once he had the gauntlet, he didn't.
Okay.
He said half.
Okay. So when we get to that, I want to discuss something with you that we had talked about before a little bit, and you had said that someone had taken responsibility because it was his fault, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's not his fault. So when we get to that portion of the movie, we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to go through the movie piece by piece.
Okay, so you just want to freewheel it?
I just want to talk about the pieces that were important to you, and then we'll ask each other questions.
Okay. Well, we were talking before we had done the podcast and everything. We didn't talk too much about it. We didn't get into great detail, but you were talking about how Tony feels responsible for the death of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for him making that suit, Spider-Man wouldn't have been there. Well, the thing is if Thanos just had half, and he didn't have any control over who lived or died, then Spider-Man would have died anyway. Yeah. So I could see where Tony would still feel responsible because the kid died in front of him, and so that's in his face. But in all reality, if it's undetermined who's going to live or die, it's not his fault.
Who's on Titan at this point?
It's just kind of like who's on first, or I don't remember who's all on Titan. I think it was oh god, was it?
There's this bitch and fight that occurs
mm-hmm.
before any of that, right? Doctor Strange is there, Iron Man's there, Spider-Man's there. That's them three, but also Peter Quill is there, right?
Yeah, Mantis,
the
rest of the Guardians,
and
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's 6 people.
Right.
Spider-Man does. Doctor Strange does.
Yeah.
And Drax does. Right?
I think that's correct, yes.
That's half the people.
Yeah. So you're saying that if Spider-Man wouldn't have showed up, there would have been only 5 people there, and only 2 of them would have had to have died.
Did Peter Quill disappear? I don't think so.
No. I can't remember now. It's a good question.
I don't think so. They were very specific. Most of the Guardians bit it. Gamora bit
it. Drax bit it. Groot bit it.
Groot bit it. Rocket didn't, and I don't think they showed Peter Quill.
Yeah, it's been a bit, but the thing is
both of us have seen the movie one time.
Yeah, that's about the most I can go see it at the moment, because it still hurts. Just saying. But if you think about it, though, is people were going, well, Strange gave up the Time Stone pretty quick and what have you. The thing that gets me is if you go back and you watch it, which I haven't done yet, but when they're on the planet and he's in his trance-like state and he's moving super fast, his head's moving fast and everything, he gets awoken and he says, I've just been through 14 million timelines, to see where they could win. Well, how many did we win in? 1.
Right. So you assume that he lets it play out as if that is the winning strategy.
Yeah, because the thing is after he gives it to him, after he gives it to Thanos, he looks at Tony and goes, "It had to be this way."
Yeah.
So that's the one winning strategy that they have. He had to have the stone and he had to go do these things. It's the only way they're going to win.
Well,
so I think we're going to see that line reoccur in the next movie, and they're going to expand upon it.
I think, and this is just a guess, this is my prediction, that the timeline where they won was one that Tony lived through.
Right.
And that's why he said, I'll give you the time stone, but you have to spare him.
Yeah.
Which, again,
and
that was the only part where I'm like, okay, he has to have at least some control over the half, or he would have killed Tony. He could have left 50-50 odds that he murdered Tony.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure. I mean, I can agree with you there, and I'll go with it on it. But I mean, maybe he has a partial control, or he does have control, except for Tony. He just didn't care.
Yeah.
Who lived or died. So I mean, I can go with that too.
Everybody in the universe except Tony Stark. That's the interesting thing to me. Okay, so let's just go. That's the basic story of the movie, is that Thanos is trying to destroy half the universe, and all he's trying to do is collect all of the Infinity Stones. And when he does, he's going to snap his fingers and wipe out half the universe. And surprise, he fucking does.
Yeah,
that's basically the movie. But there's a lot of fisticuffs and running around and building of hammers.
Yay!
Yay! And all of it is beautiful and glorious and dead on point, comic book accurate, beautiful.
May I just say how funny it was to me to see Peter Dinklage as a tall dwarf?
I love the choice, and I love Peter Dinklage, but that was the worst acted scene in the film
that he's ever done. I understand, but just the fact to see him,
I loved it. He's a giant little dwarf.
Yes. By the way, Star-Lord did die.
Okay, so
Star-Lord, Groot, and Drax, and Mantis, along with
more than half.
Yeah, I think basically the only person that's still around is Rocket.
From Nebula, she was there as well.
She's not really part of the Guardians, but okay, we'll give you that.
Oh yeah, she's considered one of the Guardians.
Okay.
Remember they went on in Guardians 2.
Electric Boogaloo?
Yeah, they told her that she had a family.
Well, just because you got a family doesn't mean you're part of the team.
Well, Yondu's a Guardian. She's a Guardian.
Yondu sounds like a search engine.
I think it's a familiar title that's passed down. Groot's kid gets to be in the Guardians. Gamora's sister gets to be in the Guardians. Quill's stepdad gets to be in the Guardians. It's all.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
It's like Congress.
Family is what you make it. Okay, explain that one.
Well, back in my day, if you were a senator's son, you were a senator.
Yeah. Wow. They do it weird down in Florida.
It was Tennessee, actually. Al Gore's father was a senator as well.
Ah, okay. You mean not just in general? You mean they actually ran for senator and won the position? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about it just got handed down. I'm like, oh, okay.
No, we're not English.
Well, for you mean?
We vote for our dynasties.
I vote for the Flair dynasty, guys. I'm sorry. Anyway. But you were saying.
Okay, so the point I was making was the movie, after the finger snap, the movie very quickly shows you the ramifications of the finger snap, which include Thanos being all crispy and the glove being all crispy on one side.
Right.
Now, the glove's not a single-use item. as far as I can recall from.
Right. So what happened?
So what happens after the brief glimpse of reality is Thanos wakes up in a pool of orange goo water,
Right.
and then finds Gamora as a child, right?
Right. When he first got her. When he first met her, sorry.
You could think that that's like a shock or some piece of trauma or something going on in his brain, but then he wakes up again, right?
Right.
He's now on a fucking hilltop somewhere overlooking the beautiful universe like he wished he would do when his work was over. But it's also the same sickly orange color.
Okay.
What if he what if he is also half the universe?
He's got to weigh a lot.
No, I mean, what if he is also part of the half of the universe that got disappeared?
That perished?
Yeah.
Well, that would put him into the soul gem realm.
Yeah, that's what we're assuming is that's where the other half of the universe went. That's where all of our young heroes who have multi-movie contracts are.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, in considering the movies that are coming out, like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, you know it's coming out, so you know they got to bring some of these people back.
But they don't, though. There's, the book has a rotating roster.
Yeah.
And James Gunn laid plans for a god-awful Sylvester Stallone-led Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
But the thing is if anybody can make it work, I think it would be Gunn.
Yeah, I'd watch the fuck out of that movie, but it's going to be bad.
Oh, well, the thing is, not only that, but the thing is, I think what a lot of people are forgetting too is the fact that there's many, many stories that you can tell. So, I mean, the movies that are coming out might be prequels to the Avengers movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I mean, like,
for sure, Wasp is.
Yeah, well, like when Black Panther came out, it was only like 2 or 3 days after everything from the Captain America Civil War went down.
Yeah,
so
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, but okay.
There's a lot of time differential, between Black Panther and the current Avengers movie. I think there's like a 2-year difference. I'm not sure. I'd have to watch them both again.
Well, I somehow did not put my money down for Black Panther at the theater. Which
you should have. It was a really good film.
Yeah, I'm going to put my money down for a digital copy of it instead. Because
understood.
It is on my list of films to see because it's comic book.
All right. But it was a good movie.
There seems to be universal consensus that was a good movie.
So let's talk about the scene where Cap and Iron Man kiss and make out. Actually, to me, that was just quite balls to the wall homoerotic.
They didn't even share a frame.
Damn it! I'm trying to mess with the people that haven't seen the movie yet. I'm kidding. Yeah, it's going to be interesting because you have to think that sooner or later the two have to meet again.
Yeah, he's not hanging around on Titan for the next movie.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea how he's planning on getting fucking home, but I guess Thor could find him and come and get him with his new hammer.
Yeah. And actually, it's more like a hammer axe, ain't it?
It is an axe, but it
has an edge to it that you can use as a hammer.
Well, it has an edge on it that you can use as an axe, and it has a blunt spot you can use as a hammer, unless I've been using them wrong all this time.
Well, it depends on what you're using it for,
When all you have is an axe, everything looks like unsliced bread.
I'm not going to say what looks like a nail anyway, but still. No, it just...
presumably, the only people that are left in the Avengers are the original Avengers. So that's, the lineup.
Yeah.
Which was surprising. That surprised me that would be so. That would be the tack that they took. I thought for sure they were going to go, okay, let's knock out these guys who are really expensive.
Yeah, and we'll worry about it next film.
Next movie will show the new Avengers type guys, right?
Right. So we'll have a question for you.
War, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last part.
I said they teased them at the end of Civil War, and we never kind of actually got them.
Right. So here's my thing: is okay if we buy that the people that were dusted away are in the Soul Gem.
Yeah, which we have no evidence for because nobody who was dusted was shown inside the Soul Gem. She was shown pushed off a cliff, right? So how she got to the Soul Gem.
Well, the thing is, the Soul Gem was in the vicinity, so maybe if she's killed within the vicinity, she can get sucked in. I'm not sure how that works. Or she was killed.
She had to be sacrificed.
Yeah. Well, she was killed to get the Soul Gem in the first place. So I mean, maybe it requires that sacrifice. Maybe that sacrifice lives in the Soul Gem.
I buy that.
But like some of the others that died before the Soul Gem was even used.
Right. We should go over, right? Heimdall's dead. Loki's dead. Yeah. Any other fucking Asgardian that you could think of had either died in the previous movie or is laying on the floor dead in this movie.
Yeah. Well, what I'm thinking is would those people be able to be brought back from the Soul Gem? I mean, I know they're not in the Soul Gem, but I mean, they were killed. Could he use the Soul Gem to bring them back? Is that a power that it has?
I don't think so.
Okay. So, I mean, if that's the possibility, then it's quite possible that just for shits and giggles, we could see Quicksilver again.
Yeah, I entertained that thought for a little while. I also, there are set, let's go off script of the movie here. Since we are, there are set videos of Captain America in his Captain America the First Avenger costume.
Right.
And a couple of other people like that. So it could be that they used a time gem to go back to recruit our heroes to a time before they were dead.
That is a possibility. It'd be interesting to see. All I can say is I'm really looking forward to the next film.
Yeah,
I'm always looking forward to the next Marvel film, which is really that's amazing.
It was an interesting magic trick to end the movie with the entire audience going, "Oh shit!" I have no idea what's going to happen, but I want to know right now.
Amazing, dude. Amazing that for all intents and purposes, at the end of the film, the bad guy won.
Oh yeah, the bad guy is the good guy. It's the bad guy's movie.
Yeah, he's the protagonist of this whole film. But how often do you see that? It's usually the good guys rise up and defeat the bad guy. Well, this time,
The Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, how long ago was that?
It's been a while. But everybody tries to do it, but then they puss out and go, "Oh, no, it just plays better."
Yeah. And you have to give credit to Disney and to Marvel to go, we think our audience will be able to accept this and look forward to the next one.
I think that Disney and Marvel said to the Russo brothers, do whatever
you want, you make us money.
Do whatever the hell you want to do after the last two movies that you did for us.
Yeah.
However you want to do it, you want to shoot them back to back, you want to get all the fucking guys in all one time, just do it.
Yeah. I'm with you.
And I commend the people at Disney for being smart enough to realize that that's what needed to be done.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't have made a comic book fan happier. I don't know one comic book fan who went, "Oh man, I'm so mad that Mr. Steph wasn't in it."
And the thing is that's not even mentioned in the film at all. I mean, I guess that's a plot point that they totally just dropped on the floor. Because he's doing it for this one reason, and that's it. He's not doing it to win death.
Right. And they could have used Hela as a stand-in for death. They are an already established version of death.
Mm-hmm.
But that love story was kind of lame. I gotta say,
well, I find that
the only good thing about it is after he destroys half the universe, she's like, "Get the hell out of here! I don't care. Why are you pressing me? Now you just made my job really hard for a day."
Never thought of it like that. Oh man. Go ahead.
So I was pleased with the way they did that. I thought that was much better. James Gunn has come out and said that Adam Warlock is not going to be in Avengers 4.
Aw, man.
And that means that even us comic book nerds have no idea how they're going to fucking resolve this.
Yeah. Although I do like it. Speaking of post-credit scenes, which we did earlier, I do like the fact that they called in Captain Marvel. Or Marvel, sorry. Because at the end with Nick Fury and Maria Hill, and the person I was with was like, "What the hell is this?" Like, dude, that's Captain Marvel. Oh, the Krieg. No, it's gonna be the female one, which is to me is better. I like the female character better than I like the original.
The male one is called Captain Marvel, and she is Captain Marvel.
No. See, to me, Captain Marvel is owned by DC. So I'm still going to call her Marvel no matter what the hell she wants to call herself.
Well,
there we go.
She went from...
She's had quite a few identities in the Marvel universe.
Well, I mean, she graduated from Miss Marvel to Captain Marvel at the insistence of Captain America.
Yeah, I mean, you go from a Miss to a Captain. Shouldn't you be like sergeant first or private first class? I like to see those ranks,
No, I think there's like a group of captains who get together, Captain America and Captain Britain. We're talking with, there must be somebody else, Captain Canuck.
Yeah, there is. Not part of that universe, but yeah.
Captain Morgan.
Who I think is the best captain of all, honestly. I have had many conversations with Captain Morgan, or is it because of Captain Morgan I've had many conversations?
I thought you were going to say I've had many Captain Morgans in me.
Yeah, that's a story for another time. Let me tell you about Clown College.
No. So funny.
Sorry.
Just going to a fake ad there.
Today's episode is brought to you by water. Go ahead.
Seltzer, the only kind of clown water.
I've tried regular water. It just doesn't do the splash in the face, just like seltzer does. Go ahead, sorry.
So you saw Black Panther. Did you feel like there was not enough Wakanda? That's, I guess what I should say is that I was shocked and surprised at how little they attempted any kind of exposition whatsoever.
How so? Define, please.
We're long-time comics fans, so in comic books, you used to get to a point where the comic book was just inscrutable because it carried with it so much baggage. They used to write comics that were one-offs and goofy, silly stories where Superman would move the Earth out of the sun's orbit for a little while and then move it back again, and then nobody remembered that it ever happened again.
Right.
But then in the 80s, they started getting more serialized. They still tried to tell one-offs, but things that happened in the story would progress into the next story and into the next story. And after 12 or
there was continuity.
After 12 or 13 or 15 or 25 issues, there are all these little asterisk notes in the comic pages telling you what previous issue that occurred in.
Right.
And I say it in the 80s, but it actually happened in the Marvel era because Spider-Man was a continuous strip.
Yeah, there was continuity. Yeah, I got what you're saying.
But in order to try to reduce as many of those asterisk boxes as possible, comic writers would try to recap the story in story with exposition.
Yeah, sometimes, yes.
And movies have been doing it for years and years and years.
Especially sequels, yes.
Yeah, and when you're the 18th movie in a 10-year sequel, holy shit, there's a lot of baggage that nobody understands or has any idea about. And this movie did not give a fuck if you were following along or not. It just kept on trucking.
Yeah, well, it was basically a self-contained.
Nice to see you. I mean, I guess there was a Doctor Strange Spider-Man scene, but for the most part, it was like, look, you're in space. These people have a ship. That guy's a god.
Yeah, I got you. It's. I think basically they're at a point now where mostly the stories are self-contained. You really don't have to know everything from the past to be able to enjoy this flick. So we're going to give you the bare bones minimum. Just kind of pay attention and watch. But I also think that so many people are watching the Marvel films now that they really don't have to do a lot of the exposition because they know, hey, you've pretty much seen everything else, or you know everything else that has happened.
They know how many tickets they sold, so they don't have
yeah, but the thing is,
whether people know who Black Panther is, they know that people know who Black Panther is for sure.
Yeah. Well, now, the thing is, you have to go, well, how many of those are return ticket buyers? Because there are people that have seen the current Avengers movie 3, 4, 5 times, if not more.
Yep.
You know, so it's like,
it was a very huge repeat business film.
Yes, it was. You know, so I mean, it's just like, it could be the same 15 geeks that are in each city that are, in each theater that are making it still popular. But
having said that, if you were someone who did watch all 18 movies,
yes,
there was stuff in there for you all over the place. Like there's like a 20-second scene about Tony getting ready to call Cap on the phone that Cap gave him at the end of Civil War if he needed him after they had literally beat the hell out of him.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's a flip phone, and Tony even mentioned that it goes to flip phone. Of course it is.
Right.
Of course it does. Of
course it's an anachronism from the guy from the 1940s. But he actually never consummates that call, so they don't actually reconcile yet. So you were saying that's your prediction for Avengers 4. Definitely those two will hug and make out.
Well, I'm hoping, but that's a different video altogether. I'm saying that they're going to have to meet each other, and they might not be friends again. They might not totally make up, but there's going to have to be, I won't say a reckoning. There's going to have to be some kind of understanding that, look, we're still pissed at each other, but I need you by my side. We need to do this. And then they go and do that. But the thing is, you were talking about there are little things for people that have seen all 18 films. Do you remember when they first started out and there was all the little Easter eggs if you paid attention? Like in the Iron Man film, there Captain America's shield was in the background shaking up.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's just kind of like a continuation of that to a certain extent. It's just now that they've got more films that we've seen and everything, they can play with it more. And it's like, oh, I remember that from this, and that's kind of cool. It's kind of cool that they're able to do that now.
I know, but this wasn't exactly an Easter egg. It was more like a continuation of the story in just the tiniest bit. So that you feel that heartbreak that they didn't even get to the apologies stage yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? You and I are anticipating that based on that little flip phone thing.
Right.
Which they didn't attempt to explain.
Yeah, well, again, it goes back to the We know you've watched the other films. Or if you haven't, now we've given you an excuse to go rent it.
Right. Talk to one of your more knowledgeable nerd friends.
Yeah. Turn to your left and talk to the friend that you came with. The one whose jaw is totally agape right now. The one who's crying when you walk out the door. So I love this stuff like that, though. I mean, it makes us geeks useful.
So when they finally do reconcile, do you think he'll be like, you only called me because your stupid robot friend is dead?
No, I think I think they realize that they're kind of
Bucky
they have their uses.
Shit.
Yeah. They have their uses and they both know it. I mean, if there's a certain type of job and you're not the person to do it, but a guy that's his gig, and vice versa, Cap, he knows a guy. That's not how I would do things. It's not my personal thing, but I'm going to eliminate that altogether and call Tony. It's just a matter. And not only that, but the thing is Tony was going to call him because they were approaching a situation where everybody was needed. And honestly, if the chips came down to it and it was a universal life or death matter, I would take either one of them on my side, whether or not I agreed with their politics. No matter what the harsh feelings is, you got to set that aside for the greater good. So that's just me, though. I'm weird. So whatever happened to the Collector? Did he die in the film, or is he still alive?
They don't say.
They
just show the ruins of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they show Thanos with his foot on his chest, and that's when the Guardians of the Galaxy interfere.
But he wasn't really there.
Yeah.
He didn't have his foot on his chest. He had him in a cage.
Really?
But he was in a glass cage, remember?
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, he threw him into the cage. Or it looked like he threw him into the cage when the reality thing came over, because I remember him picking him up and throwing him. I believe that's when he got into the cage. You are correct. He was in a cage, yes. Sorry. It's in Thanos' alternate reality, I guess.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't understand how he set a trap for people he didn't know were going to come there. But okay.
Well, that's the thing. When you have the stones, sounds like I'm talking about something else. When you have the Infinity Stones, you can work through all the things. It's kind of like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, where at the end they kept making notes to go back in time and change something.
Yes.
That's pretty much what he was doing, I guess. It's like, okay, go back in time and change this. All right, there it is. And there's the phone booth. All right. I'm probably looking forward to Bill and Ted
3. Yeah, is it too off topic to say how are they going to make this movie?
What, part 3? It's a little bit off topic, but again, they made a comic book of Bill and Ted. So, we've got that. But I was thinking, if they do a Bill and Ted 3, are they going to leave Rufus off to the side? Or are they going to hire someone to take over Rufus's place? And if they do, I think they would be pretty close with hiring Rick Overton.
You can't do that.
I'm not saying that they should. I'm just saying is if you're going to do it, the person that's going to be close to it and a person that was a close friend of George Carlin would be Rick Overton.
Yeah.
And honestly, he kind of looks a lot like him too. I mean, if they have the character go and they bring his brother in, someone else that, knows how to do it. But I mean, Rufus, he's now president or something. He doesn't have the time to do this, or But so they bring his brother in or some other lackey, and it'd be Rick Overton.
They still have the phone booth, right?
I think so.
I'm trying to remember the end of number 2, which is difficult, but I think they still have the phone booth, and they don't really need Rufus.
They'll always need Rufus, man.
Rufus came and gave them the thing, told them the problem, and then fucked off.
Yes, this is a family-friendly show.
He showed up at the end of the movie and said, "Good job."
Oh God!
Right? Isn't that how the movie went, if I recall?
I don't remember, man. It's been a long time. I've got both films.
Yeah, I'm not interested. I don't think I need to watch both of them again, especially since I've seen the first one like 35 million times.
Where do you find the time?
Yeah, well,
I was a poor kid.
right. I can't sleep at night, so it's either record a podcast or watch Bill and Ted's again. Podcast.
I'm about to say, you should have just stuck to watching Bill and Ted again. I'm kidding. But God, bogus journey. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's where they beat various board games. But the conceit of this film is that they, as far as I can tell, is that they have to write this perfect song, right? So you would assume that they go back in time and grab famous musicians. In which case, I don't think they would need Rufus to do that task, is what I was thinking.
Unless they need like one. Oh, Al from Quantum Leap.
Dean Stockwell.
Yeah, just have him show up.
I would be okay with them running into a series of time traveling heroes. Just David Tennant, and Dean Stockwell, and Captain Archer. Yeah, that's his name. Scott Bakula.
Well, what was it?
I find it interesting that I have decided to file Scott Bakula under Captain Archer instead of whatever his character is.
Sam Beckett.
Yeah, thank you.
Not a problem. What gets me is you're talking about David Tennant, and the thing is the guy that played Rip Hunter on Legends of Tomorrow was also Rory.
Yeah. Arthur Darvill.
From Dr.
So him too.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it would just be funny to have David Tennant and Rory, It's
probably cheaper just to use the ships. I just have the Wave Rider and the TARDIS and some other, the H.G. Wells time machine.
Right. Well, I know you don't like BBT, so I'm not going to talk about it, but it had something time machine. So, but it's all good. No, man, it just.
What's weird is that the show is funny. I don't have a problem with the funniness of the writing.
Okay. But
it's everything else.
It strikes too close to home.
No, I like that. I'm okay with that. It's the actors who are clearly not the people who they are portraying themselves to be.
Do you think Andy Griffith was Matlock? Is that what you're saying?
No, but I thought that Andy Griffith could act as if he was Matlock. I believe Andy Griffith was Matlock.
Wow, we have different different standards. So you're saying that you wouldn't believe Andy Griffith was like a punk rock originator, is what you're saying?
I would not buy that Andy Griffith was a hip octogenarian.
How about an octogenarian that needed a new hip?
Okay. All right.
That you can go with. All right, I see. You're saying that certain things. I got it.
Oh my God.
I don't know what to tell you, but all I'm saying is that personally, I thought that Avengers Infinity was awesome.
I agree.
I think the cinematics were amazing.
There was
the special
piece of CG in it.
Okay.
One wonky piece, and I think it was Iron Man flying. Not the bit where he gets big, but where he flies off like over the water. And it stuck out to me as the worst piece of Iron Man CGI I have seen ever. Which I thought
the thing that got me
in this movie.
Well, the thing that got me was when he was trying to get to the spaceship.
Yeah.
And then he got the extra thrust power and whatever.
Yeah.
That seemed a little bit off to me.
His whole nanobot suit is a bit off to me, but I get it.
Yeah. It's not bad.
I'm not a big fan of CG suits to begin with. Green Lantern soured me on CG suits.
Don't make it green. Sorry. Thing back to Deadpool there. My bad. So, all things considered, you thought it was a good movie. What movie are you looking forward to next, if any?
The next movie I'm going to see is Black Panther.
Okay. Let me rephrase the question.
After that, I'm looking forward to seeing... Unbelievably, I'm looking forward to seeing Solo next.
Really?
Yeah.
None of the trailers have given you pause on this?
No, every single piece of video that I have seen makes me want to see it more than the last time, and I didn't want to see it at all at the beginning. They announced it, and I was like, oh. And then they went, hey, those two guys who did the Lego movie are doing it. I was like, I'm in. And then they were like, we fired those guys. I'm like, I'm out. Ron Howard's doing it. I was like, I'm still out. And then they were like, here's some video. And I was like, damn, that looks really good. I mean, it also feels like it will be tiresome and boring because it's just going to go, this is where he got his belt loop.
Well, the thing is Woody Harrelson is in it. And
yep, that helps.
That gives it a little bit of credence to me. I'm gonna probably see the movie, but I'm not gonna see it opening weekend. In fact, I might not see it for the first couple of weeks. And when I do see it, it's gonna be one of those matinee things on Tuesday.
Yeah.
$5 day, Yeah. And even then I'm gonna complain.
That's right.
So, I mean, that's something, but I'm kind of looking forward to Deadpool 2.
That too.
Seeing how that plays out. I know that I can't remember what film it is, but there's some film coming out next month that I'm kind of looking forward to. And I think it's a Marvel film, but I can't. Actually, it might be Deadpool 2 that I'm thinking of that comes out next month.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
That's it. Thank you. That I'm looking forward to. And I've had people that I've talked to about it, they're complaining that it looks like a rom-com.
Well, all of these movies are some genre. That's how they do them. It's a heist movie.
Yeah. But the thing is, I'm just like, what's wrong with a rom-com superhero movie? You've got the whole date night thing, and now there's something for both of you, if the other person's not into comics normally, but is into rom-coms. And this was right up the alley. So I say, what's wrong with it? And I hope this movie doesn't prove anything about what's wrong with it, I hope it stays good.
I trust these folks. They got their shit together, and the movie looks good.
Yeah.
The first movie was so enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. Oh, have you seen I can't remember the name of the character, but in Ant-Man, the friend of Ant-Man that keeps describing things in weird ways.
Michael Pena.
Yeah. There's a meme going around. I just want Avengers 4 the beginning of it to be have the guy explaining everything that happened before. Yeah. I'm like, you know what? I would pay to see that.
All right, give me your top 3 favorite lines of Avengers Infinity War.
Wow. Okay. It has to be this, or it had to be this way, or I can't remember the thing that Doctor Strange says
but
to Tony. But it is basically like it had to be this way.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Oh, we're using made up names. Then my name's Spider-Man.
Okay.
That got me. And if we're going for a top line just for the feels alone, Groot. You know, that and then when you read the tweet of what it meant,
right.
Oh, it's like fuck. Nasty cry tears, man. You know, just ugly cry tears, basically. So what about yours? Thanos will return. Okay. Wasn't really said, but it was listed.
I'm trying to pull the one that I had in my head as number 1 back and coming up with 2 and 3 at the same time. It's not working. This is the voice I use all the time. that made me laugh out loud in the theater. Are you mocking me?
Are you lowering your voice?
He did it again. I
give credit
to man.
He's found his niche, dude. That's all I can say.
Just put him in other stuff where he's not green.
Yeah. Well, he was in one of the James Bond flicks. One of the recent ones.
I think he was also in Blade Runner 2049.
Probably.
I think so.
I haven't seen it yet.
I still have not seen it, but I did see Adam Savage doing a remote on set, and I think he talked to Dave Bautista.
Oh, that's cool. But what were the other 2?
Oh, you were going to ask me that.
There's so many to choose from.
There's an alien trying to steal a necklace from a wizard.
Yeah. Okay.
And okay.
Yeah.
One of those feely lines from Rocket to Thor. I don't care. Pick one.
Okay. Time to be the captain.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, and the thing is, it's like, wow, he's learning.
Yeah. Yondu rubbed off on him.
Yeah. Oh God. Great. Now you got Guardians of the Galaxy 2 stuck in my head. Thank you so much.
Yep. Netflix, go watch it again.
I don't want to, man. I don't want to cry. And the thing that's getting me is some of these Marvel films are now because they're Disney, they are Disney films, but it's just like Disney films can make you cry at a drop of a hat, man.
Yeah, they don't care about your emotions. They want you to be right.
Yeah. It's like, we're going to make you have all the feels. You're going to laugh, you're going to cry, you're going to kiss $12 goodbye.
You're going to cry over this tree.
Yeah.
That talks, but it can only say 3 words. 4 words. 5 words, because it can say we, too. Well, not anymore.
We don't. Oh, man. We or Groot. That tears me. It's always Groot, too, damn it. It's an infantile sequoia. I should not be feeling this for him. How great was that music video for Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
I don't remember the music video for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh my God, really?
At the end? And the credits?
I don't remember if it's in the end credits, but they made a music video for it, and it's totally late 70s disco era.
Yeah, I think
And
it plays in the credits in like little boxes.
It could very well be, but go see it on YouTube. It's amazing and scary at the same time. But basically, all the actors from Guardians of the Galaxy 2 are in the music video as different things.
Okay.
You know. Yeah, seeing Dave Bautista with an afro, perfect. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, I think that's going to wrap up the first podcast here.
All right.
Yeah.
That's an hour and 10
minutes. Podcast. Yeah, it should be. You know, I'm glad to have been part of this, and I hope we get to do this again really soon.
Sure.
You know, if we can put up with each other long enough. Well, technically, we have to get together and do this again because
we are contractually
obligated.
Contractually
obligated. Oh, 15 more of these. Anyway, we barely got through this one. How the hell are we going to do 15 more times? Anyway, but this has been Alan Shockley.
And Larry Snowdy. Contractually
obligated. And congratulate. Yep. And we'll talk to you again soon. Have a good night.
Go see Avengers Infinity War again. They need the money, those people at Marvel.
Yeah. They're making so hard. They're just, yeah. And while we're at it, you go see Black Panther so we can talk about that sometime.
All right, deal.
All right. Later, man. Oh, one last thing. Today's factoid.
Yes.
All of the pools in the Titanic are still filled
with corpses.
I was talking about with water, but okay. Nice way to know. Nice to know how you think. Anyway.
Good night.
Take care, guys. Bye.
The podcast you just heard was recorded with Anchor. If you want to make your own, download the Android or iOS app completely free from anchor.fm/podcast. That's anchor.fm/podcast.